Hi everybody, the cockpit kit. So a lot have been sent out already last week. This week will be a big push to get most of them sent out, all the pre-orders, I hope. I just wanted to do a quick video of what's actually in the box. So the box will come to you like this, cardboard box, which I have to fold up myself, of course. And inside the box are all the parts for the cockpit. So safely packed away is the driver in a foam insert, which I cut here, of course. The driver, the steering wheel, his helmet, and the gear shifter. And then in the side there, you'll see a little bit of paper which said visor, and that's the acetate visor, which is included in this kit. But if I don't put the paper in there, you won't know it's there. And then underneath that are the custom decals for the dashboard and the seat belts. Two types of seat belt decal. I found I made a clean one and a little bit of a worn one, so you've got a choice there. Those need to be sprayed with a clear lacquer. The instructions are on the back. And then cut out. They're on a transparent film, but to make them shine a little bit, it's just put a clear lacquer on it, acrylic lacquer, cut them out and stick them on. These are packed, but I'll show you unpacked. So everything is packed like this for safety, heat sealed in. That's the dials, a piece of double-sided tape, of course, to hold everything in. The front dash panel, the main tub unit. This I've put in, this is abrasive paper, quite a healthy piece because a lot of people want to really sand this nicely. So if you don't have a 600 and a 1200 grit, yeah, what are you doing? But you've got one anyway now. So that's for sanding your bits. All important bag of screws. So the screws are an M3 countersunk to hold the driver in, some M2 countersunk Phillips heads to hold the cockpit together, and two 1.4, I believe 1.4 by 3 to hold the visor on. And of course an instruction sheet, which is double-sided, so basic assembly and positioning of the decals. So that all goes into the box. There's quite a few bits in there, and I'll show you the bits individually. So basically the driver is printed in a very high resolution resin, exclusive to Needabiggershed. The driver's helmet is open-faced, but with tiny holes on the side for the screws to fix his visor on. This one there's a hole in the bottom. This one needs gluing on there. So you can use super glue, that glues that really well. But the paper again, just wash this with detergent before painting it and give it a prime. The detail is incredible. So use a fine primer. I would recommend a Tamiya fine surface primer. That's the dude. The steering wheel, and there's a tiny little logo to go in the middle of that on the decal sheet. So you can paint that up with matte black, rubber finish, Alcantara finish, whatever you want, metallic boss, and that fits in the main hub. The gear shifter, nicely detailed part, and the main tub, of course. Main tub. Now there's a hole in there because depending on your ride height of your car, where you want it, there's a lug on the chassis which could penetrate there. But if you don't need it, there's a piece to fill it, which can be pushed in underneath and glued in place so that it can be painted over. Yeah, I need to fit it a bit better, but it fills the hole up perfectly. And then of course you've got the main dashboard area, which is in the matte black, which screws onto there with the two countersunk screws. like so. And the dashboard part here can be painted as detailed as you want. Then the decals applied. There's a ton of references on the internet for the interior of the 956. That part goes underneath the dashboard like so, and glued in place. Steering wheel goes in there. What you must do when you've got the driver and the wheel, the tolerances are like tight, because we didn't want this hand like this holding the wheel. We wanted it very realistic. So the wheel has to go in. I would position everything to see where the wheel is, and then has to slide in his fingers, but you can see it's really tight. So what I would do, and what I have done, don't force it. The thumb will break off. It's ABS-like resin. It's very strong, but that part is very tiny. Don't force it. Just take the 600 or the 1200 and just ease it. See, you got one hand in already. Just ease the other hand where the seam is, and then it will slide in nicely. And then I would also just sand the edge of the front of the steering wheel column, just so that it slides in there nicely. This one's already been not really done. Oops. So just sand that tiny shaft off a little bit so it slides in there. It does fit, but it's a push fit, and if you've got everything assembled, it's quite difficult to push it. And the visors are, in case you're wondering, these are all cut here. 0.2 mil acetate sheet with holes in the corners. So I cut all of those as well, and of course I make all the stickers myself to go on the boxes and everything. So as you see, it's quite, oh yeah, and there's the instructions on the back of the decals, just to, they take 24 or 36 hours to really cure the glue. It's a PETG film, and I would advise spraying it just to give it a bit of a sheen. So all the bits. Now, the other question was, does he? I don't have the painted one here. Wait, I'll get the painted one. So that's the painted cockpit, which I've used on the socials and stuff. Will that fit in that, the C11? Well, the short answer is yes. Well, I'm just going to offer it up. So it fits in there. You've got the bulkhead fits quite well into there, and the dash area fits quite well. And so he's in. What I would suggest is offer it up with some tape, just to see if it's on your chassis okay. Make sure the position is correct. And if you need to, you might want to just take these shoulders off here. These shoulders off here, to make it fit a little bit flusher. But then you might have to just take the bulkhead back a bit. Now I would use a Dremel or similar, a multi-tool to do that with, so it drops in snugly. So that C11 is quite a simple fix. Now I'm guessing if you're buying this from me, you're already handy with tools and you don't mind a little bit of model making, so go for it. But keep in mind the dashboard itself, the position of the driver, is all specific for the 956. Now, realistically speaking, if he's inside a car like that, you're not going to notice. The next question was the Mazda. Now, the 787B, which was recently re-released. Now, it was a GDM only, which is unfortunate. I haven't managed to nab one, but I have got a repro body shell here, which is all I needed really to offer up the cockpit. Now I've put some gum in here to hold it. So the cockpit goes in nice. He fits in, the bulkhead fits in just before the knuckle ducts there. He fits in quite snug. The width is good, everything is good. Again, I would probably take those shoulders off that are on there, on this cockpit tub. But my main concern was the front of the dashboard, because the windscreen on the Mazda is quite short, so the front of the dashboard sticks quite a lot down, which drops the cockpit down slightly like this. So what I did, I got a sample one of the test ones, and I cut the front off. Cut the front off the dash area, you can see it there. So just trimmed it back and trimmed it back until it looked like a good fit. And in fact, when it's offered up, it fits in a lot better. It's possible I trimmed off a little bit too much there on the pointy front bit. The bulkhead fits pretty well, like really well actually. Don't know if that's visible on the camera. And for the rest, he's got clearance on his helmet, everything looks tickety-boo, everything looks good in there. So yeah, the cockpit is specifically for the Porsche 956. C11, no sweat at all, a little bit of minor operation if you need. You probably will need a bit more double-sided tape. I put that much in there, which is enough for the 956, but you might need more servo tape or hot glue or shoe glue or whatever. So offer it all up before you paint it. You don't need the driver in. Just screw it together, offer it up, make some minor modifications before you paint it, make sure you're happy with it, and go with it. That's all part of the fun. So that's the kit as you'll be getting it. Unofficial Rob Mitchell Racing sticker on there. And thanks so much for all the orders. Thank you for the continuing pre-orders that are coming in. I'm going to get them all out as soon as I can. There's a ton of other stuff I've got to still make for the 956 for other orders that have been coming in. The wheel sets, the diffuser sets, the body details, and of course C11 stuff. So thanks guys, bye-bye. Sunday morning, glorious morning, and the day after I shot the video. I was just editing it and I thought, I forgot to say what I'm supposed to say on all these videos. Please like and subscribe. And if you want one of these cockpits, the link in the description will take you to the website Needabiggershed.com, and that's the shed. I'm going in it to get some work done because I've got cockpits and other stuff to prep and build and get out this week. Thanks guys.